All right, I'd like to call the first public hearing to order. Will clerk please call the roll?
His Honor the Mayor.
Here.
Councilor McBrady. Here. Councilor DeMasi.
Here.
Councilor Hill.
Here.
Councilor Wilmot.
Here.
Councilor Gosick.
Here.
Councilor Tesorial.
Here.
Councilor Cordino.
Here.
All present.
Thank you. The first public hearing is regarding the 5-year public housing agency plan. That's the plan that our City of Oswego Section 8 HUD housing program administers. We have one person signed up to speak. That's the director of our Section 8 Rental Assistance Program office here in the City of Oswego. That's Nate Emmons.
Thank you, Mayor and Councilors. I just wanted to report out tonight that the 5-year plan has been available for almost 47 days now in our office. We've had nobody come on in and review the document, and so we don't have any further public input in terms of the plan. So what you were given 40 some odd days ago is exactly as it is stands tonight. Thank you.
Thank you. There's nobody signed up to speak for this public hearing. Without any other comments, I'll take a motion to adjourn. Councilor DeMasi, Councilor Tesorial. Will clerk please call the roll?
Councilor Tesorial.
Yes.
Councilor Cordino.
Yes.
Councilor McBrady. Yes. Councilor DeMasi.
Yes.
Councilor Hill.
Yes.
Councilor Wilmot.
Yes.
Councilor Gosick.
Yes.
Resolution passes 7-0.
This public hearing is adjourned. The public session starts at 7:15. Public session. I ask that you, if you'd like to speak, step up to the microphone, state your name and address, and try to keep your comments to 5 minutes or less. We have 2 speakers signed up to speak. The first speaker is Randy Wilson.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, City Council, and Mayor Barlow. On behalf of Rotary District 7150, which is 42 Rotary clubs, including the Oswego Sunrise Club here and the Oswego Noon Club, I am just thrilled to be able to be here tonight to offer you a Rotary banner. The theme for this year is Rotary Connects the World, and we're going to do that here in Oswego this coming weekend at our Rotary District Conference. We'll be here Friday night and Saturday all day at the Lake Ontario Conference Center. I would invite everyone here on the City Council and the Mayor to come at 2 o'clock to the pavilion, the Oswego Sunrise Rotary Pavilion Park, coming in on East 1st Street. We're going to dedicate the gazebo there. We're going to have a great ceremony with a lot of Rotarians and a lot of friends, and it would be wonderful to have City Council members there. The focus of the conference is going to be connect, communicate, collaborate. We're going to have about 180 people from Rotary here. We're going to focus on the international project that Rotary's had underway since 1989, and that is eradicating polio. And so I brought this banner. We'll have this on display at the conference center, and you'll see it at a couple places throughout the city. We're having some other events. But since 1989, we have reduced the number of annual cases of wild polio virus from 350,000 a year to last year there were 35. This year there are 70 so far. We're down to 2 countries endemic, Afghanistan and Pakistan. It's going to take another 10 years. And so I think the most important number on that pull-up banner is the second one down, 18 million. Those are the human beings that today are walking not affected by polio since 1989. We've had immunization days. We'll continue to have those. It's going to take another 10 years to eradicate polio in the last 2 countries, but we will get it done. And it's because of the generosity of the people of Oswego already through our new friend Jason Livesey from Rudy's, where he did a fundraiser for us at the end of the season, and now through the good efforts of Judge Don Todd and the Oswego Sunrise Club and also the Oswego Noon Club. We're going to have this wonderful celebration at the Pavilion Park on Saturday. Plus, all of us are going to enjoy. I've been promised another sunny day just like today in Oswego on Saturday. Thank you all for that. If I may approach, I have something to leave for you.
Sure. Great.
Rotary, you have to have a pen for everyone.
Great.
Thank you all
Yep.
so very much.
Thank you. You can leave.
We're looking forward to Saturday. And if you can join us at 2 o'clock at the pavilion, please do. Public's invited. Please. We'd love to have as many people there as possible.
Great, thank
Thank you all very
you. Well, I have a proclamation for you. Why don't you leave that up so it's in the background when we do the photo?
Very good.
All right? We'll get that done at the beginning of the meeting here in about 10 minutes.
Thank you.
We have one other speaker signed up, Kate Spector.
Hi, good evening. My name is Kate Spector. I work at SUNY Oswego as the Campus Sustainability Manager. I'd like to share some information on the work done on our campus through the Sustainability and Dining Project over the last 2 years. We served more than 7,500 meals per day in our dining halls. I'd like to read a little blurb from our annual report. The use of plastics in SUNY Oswego dining centers is down, and sustainability education is up, thanks to the work of the President's Advisory Group on Sustainability and Dining Services. Appointed in early 2018, this advisory group, consisting of students, faculty, and staff, reviewed all items currently procured and produced throughout dining services to determine environmental impact. The advisory group made recommendations and oversaw the incorporation of best practices that strengthen our commitment to being a leader in sustainability while providing superior customer service to students. Implementation of the following recommendations for changes in resident and retail dining began at the start of the fall 2018 semester. First, a campus-wide social awareness campaign was launched to reduce the use of bottled water and other plastic containers. Signage was posted indicating discounts and options for reusable mugs for hot beverages. Polystyrene materials were eliminated from all dining areas. Resident dining areas replaced plastic souffle cups with paper souffle cups, plastic bowls and utensils with ceramic bowls and metal utensils, or paper bowls of takeout, and plastic stir sticks were replaced with wooden stir sticks. And last, retail dining areas' takeout bags are now paper instead of plastic. In short, we've had a lot of success with our initiatives at reducing non-essential plastics, like single-use polystyrene foam in campus dining services. If anyone would like more information on these initiatives, feel free to contact me.
Great, thank you. Any other comments? Anyone like to speak before the council? Come on up.
Please, I didn't see a sign-up sheet, I'm sorry.
No problem. Just state your name and address if you can for the
Yes.
record. And
I am Fred Ringwald. I live in New Haven, 235 Darrow Road. I lead We the People of Oswego Indivisible, a nonpartisan, issue-oriented group, and one of our primary issues that our group supports is environmental issues, and as such I come to speak on behalf of the support of your Clean Up Oswego proposal, particularly the initiatives to eliminate styrofoam containers and also the public smoking and vaping projects. The other issues are also very good, and we support all of them. And I would offer, particularly with regard to the styrofoam and the public smoking issues, that we need to make our decisions based on the facts. And the facts are that styrofoam containers are an environmental hazard, and there's no question about that in the scientific community, and it only makes sense to eliminate them. With regard to public smoking, the consequences of secondhand smoke are again undisputed, and I heartily recommend that you approve that as well. Thank you very much.
great, thank you. Appreciate that. Anyone else like to speak? Oh, yep.
Hi, I'm Ranjit Degay of 115 East 3rd Street, Oswego. I was pleased to see in the Pal Times today about the Keep Oswego Clean initiative. I'd like to offer my support for that too. I think it's terrific. The headline mentioned green policies, and I think it's great that we're trying to reduce litter and plastic, but I would like to say that I think there's more to green policies than simply doing that. I am talking about trees. The trees that were cut down recently on West 1st Street, a lot of them had been there for decades. These were living things, and they were cut down rather suddenly without much fanfare. I'm not going to talk about the Tree Advisory Board controversy. I don't really know anything about that. But these were trees that had been here a long time. Some of those trees had been here longer than most of us in this room. People had enjoyed their shade, their foliage, their snow-covered branches, and their cooling effect in the summertime. They will definitely be missed. I really do not believe that all of those trees had to come down. I understand cutting down a tree that's overgrown its space or that's severely diseased, but I really doubt that all of them were in that category. Taking an old tree down is a sad thing. It's like putting down an old pet. You don't do it unless you have to, ideally. You certainly don't do it just so you can have a matching set of trees or pets, like, say, new Samsonite luggage. And people should have an opportunity to say goodbye. If you're going to cut down the trees, you know, that's, you have the power to do so. But people should have an opportunity to say goodbye to those trees, snap one last picture, and just kind of save them. So I ask who paid for the trees. Last year we had months of hearings before the planning board and the zoning board regarding a drive-through Dunkin' Donuts. And whatever one thinks of the outcome there, I think it's really good that we had a process that involved public input and some real give and take. I feel a lot better about the decision than I would have if it had been simply rammed through. So I'm wondering what would be the best thing here. We don't have a tree advisory board right now, but maybe we should reform one, and maybe their role should be expanded with well-publicized public meetings like we have for the zoning board and the planning board. Tree removal in public areas, I think, is something that is very serious and maybe should be in the city charter. I'm going to leave you with some words from someone a lot more eloquent than myself, namely Dr. Seuss. It's from the Lorax. "Mister," he said with a sawdusty sneeze, "I am the Lorax. I speak for the trees. I speak for the trees have no tongues." And that was all the Lorax left here in this mess, was a small pile of rocks with one word, unless. Whatever that meant, well, I couldn't just guess. "Now," says the Onceler, "now that you're here, the word of the Lorax seems perfectly clear. Unless someone like you cares a whole awful lot, nothing is going to get better. It's not. So, catch," calls the Onceler. He lets something fall. It's a truffula seed. It's the last one of all. You're in charge of the last of the truffula seeds, and truffula trees are what everyone needs. Plant a new truffula, treat it with care, give it clean water, and feed it fresh air. Grow a forest, protect it from axes that hack. Then the Lorax and all of his friends may come back.
All right, I'd like to call the meeting to order. Will you please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Clerk, please call the roll.
His Honor the Mayor.
Here.
Councilor McBrady. Councilor DeMassey.
Here.
Councilor Hill.
Here.
Councilor Wilmot. Here. Councilor Gosick.
Here.
Councilor Tesserio.
Here.
Councilor Cordino.
Here.
All present.
Thank you. I have one item under the mayor's report, and that's to first welcome our guest, Randy Wilson, who is the Rotary District Governor for 7150, Oswego County Court Judge, and Sunrise Rotary President Don Todd. And welcome him. The reason they're here is the district governor mentioned earlier is World Polio Day is October 24th, 2019. So I'll read a proclamation I've prepared acknowledging World Polio Day and Rotary's dedication to fighting polio. Proclamation World Polio Day, October 24th, 2019. Whereas the city of Oswego, New York takes great pride in recognizing and celebrating important occasions of organizations that substantially contribute to the health and well-being of their communities, and whereas one such organization is Rotary International, which is recognizing World Polio Day. World Polio Day is celebrated on October 24th of each year on the anniversary of the birth of Jonas Salk, who developed the polio vaccine that is used worldwide to this day. And whereas poliomyelitis, better known as polio, is a paralyzing and potentially deadly disease that commonly affects children under the age of 5, it spreads through person-to-person contact, often through contaminated water sources. Although polio is not a health crisis in the U.S. because it was declared completely eradicated by 1994, the disease has yet to be eradicated in other countries. And whereas Rotary International is a founding partner of the Global Polio Eradication Initiative since the initiative's first project to vaccinate children with the polio vaccine in the Philippines in 1979, polio cases have been reduced by 99.9%. Rotary International has helped immunize 2.5 billion children in more than 122 countries. To date, the Rotary has monetarily contributed over $1.8 billion in funding to help eradicate polio worldwide. And whereas Rotary International is committed to continuing its work to keep countries polio-free and to eliminate the disease in countries such as Afghanistan, Nigeria, and Pakistan that are still suffering from polio outbreaks, the startling fact is that if the Rotary and its partners completely cease their polio eradication efforts today, within 10 years, polio would come raging back with a vengeance, paralyzing as many as 200,000 children each year. And whereas it only costs an average of $3 to fully vaccinate a child against polio, and there were 430 million children in 39 countries vaccinated in 2018, it is vital that we recognize the outstanding humanitarian work that Rotary International accomplishes to protect the health of people all around the world. Now therefore be it proclaim that I, William J. Barlow, Jr., Mayor of the City of Oswego, New York, join the Oswego Common Council and all City of Oswego residents in celebrating World Polio Day as Rotary International continues its efforts to eradicate polio in all corners of the world. Signed, William J. Barlow, Jr. I'd like to join Judge Todd and our District Governor, Randy Wilson, up with Councilors Corradino and President of the Common Council, Rob Corradino, and Vice President Kevin Hill.
Thank you so very much. Oh my God. That's wonderful. Thank you, Mayor Barlow and the City Council. And again, thank you to the City of Oswego for being our host this coming weekend. And there will be some celebrations all weekend long at a variety of spots here in Oswego to help us. We're doing a little something called Pints for Polio. It's going to involve pints of ice cream, pints of honey, pints of certain other things that you might enjoy at places like the Press Box. So, but again, 2 o'clock Saturday afternoon, the Pavilion on East 1st Street. Please join us, as many of you as you can. Thank you all so very much. This is wonderful.
Thank you for being here. That's it. Under the Mayor's report, that's all I have. Any of the councilors have anything to add? Seeing none, will clerk please call Resolution 384.
Approved minutes, Common Council meeting held September 23rd, 2019.
Councilor Tesorario, Councilor Gozick. Any comments? Will clerk please call the roll?
Councilor Tesorario.
Yes.
Councilor Corradino.
Yes.
Councilor McBrady.
Yes.
Councilor DeMassey.
Yes.
Councilor Hill.
Yes.
Councilor Wilmot. Yes. Councilor Gosick.
Yes.
Resolution passes 7-0.
Will clerk please call Resolution 385?
Approve use of public space by the Buck Boosters in order to host the Buck Spirit Parade on Thursday, October 17th, 2019.
Councilor Corradino, Councilor Hill. I'd like to make an amendment to what? Yes, I'm going to ask for an amendment right now. October 25th, the evening of October 25th. So if I could, I'll take a, because of weather, I'll take a amendment to this resolution amending that date. Councilor Hill? Counselor DeMassey. Clerk, please call the roll to amend.
Counselor Tesoriero.
Yes.
Counselor Cordino.
Yes to amend.
Counselor McBrady.
Yes to amend.
Counselor DeMassey.
Yes to amend.
Counselor Hill.
Yes to amend.
Counselor Wilmot.
Yes to amend.
Counselor Gosick.
Yes to amend.
Resolution to amend passes 7-0.
Will clerk, can I take will clerk please call the roll on the amended resolution?
Counselor Tesoriero.
Yes.
Counselor Cordino.
Yes.
Counselor McBrady.
Yes.
Counselor DeMassey.
Yes.
Counselor Hill.
Yes.
Counselor Wilmot.
Yes.
Counselor Gosick.
Yes.
Resolution passes 7-0.
Will clerk please call Resolution 386?
Approve use of public space for the 15th Annual Veterans Day 3-mile run walk to be held on Saturday, November 9th, 2019.
Counselor McBrady, Counselor Gosick. Any comments? Will clerk please call the roll?
Counselor Tesoriero.
Yes.
Counselor Cordino.
Yes.
Counselor McBrady.
Yes.
Counselor DeMassey.
Yes.
Counselor Hill.
Yes.
Counselor Wilmot.
Yes.
Counselor Gosick.
Yes.
Resolution passes 7-0.
Will clerk please call Resolution 387?
Authorize public hearing regarding proposed local law number 7 of the year 2019, a local law amending Chapter 253, Vehicles Abandoned or Junk, of the Code of the City of Oswego, New York.
Counselor Hill, Counselor Cordino. This is just to authorize the public hearing of the change of a local law which involves junk vehicles in driveways in our neighborhoods. This is just a simple language change. Right now in the code, it says enforcement will be conducted by the city engineer and the police department. We're changing it to code enforcement and police department. Any comments? Clerk, please call the roll.
Counselor Tesoriero.
Yes.
Counselor Cordino.
Yes.
Counselor McBrady.
Yes.
Counselor DeMassey.
Yes.
Counselor Hill.
Yes.
Counselor Wilmot.
Yes.
Counselor Gosick.
Yes.
Resolution passes 7-0.
Clerk, please call Resolution 388.
Authorize public hearing regarding proposed local law number 8 of the year 2019, a local law establishing Chapter 115, Environmental Protection Code of the City of Oswego, New York.
Counselor McBrady, Counselor Hill. This is to establish the public hearing to implement the environmental protection chapter into the city code. It's one part of this topic I haven't talked about is the package that we've presented, which involves the ban on styrofoam, the changes to littering, and the elimination of smoking in public space, is actually a new chapter we are creating in the city code titled Environmental Protections. We think that's the appropriate place to place this, and it leaves room for expansion for years to come, where we can build off this chapter as we move on in time here. So I think it's appropriate and it's fitting to start that chapter now with these expansions and instituting the styrofoam ban in that chapter. And like I said, this is the package that involves the no smoking on city property in city parks or at city-hosted events. Councilor Hill can attest to this as he runs the concert series at Veteran Stage, the summer concert series, and the concerts at the new Water Street Square. The biggest complaint we get from these events is secondhand smoke when you're trying to enjoy the concerts and trying to enjoy yourself, whether it's at a concert or walking down the Riverwalk or walking through our downtown, walking through Brightbeck Park, right? The whole goal is to get people to these areas to spend a considerable amount of time, not just passing through. Well, you're not going to spend any time in any of these facilities or at any of these events if you're uncomfortable or bothered by something as irritating as secondhand smoke can be. I think what we're saying is, look, if you choose to smoke, if you choose to chew tobacco, if you choose to vape, that's your choice. I'd personally advise against it, but it's your choice. But somebody else's experience shouldn't be negatively impacted because you make those decisions. And right now, when you're sitting and enjoying our concerts or walking down the Riverwalk and there's secondhand smoke being blown in your face or in your path, that creates a negative experience. It goes hand in hand with our littering proposal. I mentioned last week at the committee level, the language in our city code that involves littering is rather restrictive when it comes to enforcement. Littering is, they use the term handbill when define littering. A handbill can literally be a piece of paper that blows down the street. we are expanding that language to include the actual act of throwing a straw wrapper out your car window. Right now, the language isn't totally transparent when it comes to what is littering and what isn't. So we think the expansion of this language will clarify that. We are proposing to double the fine for littering in the city from $100 to $200. I was talking to the media in the last week, and I was telling them the easiest way to explain this is because you can say, well, don't you have other things to worry about? No, we don't have other things to worry about, because when we are investing millions of dollars in our downtown and in our public parks, those are big transformative projects, and they're great to do, but you have to make sure that you're not missing the basics. And what I mean by basics is when you're enjoying the new Harbor Trail or the new Water Street Square or the new facelift to 104, if you have cigarette butts or straw wrappers or styrofoam coffee cups in the new curb garden that we just built, or along the lakeshore on Harbor Trail that we just did, or sitting in the new seating area, fire pit seating area at Breitbeck Park, that kind of negates the millions of dollars of investment because it's actual trash on our millions of dollars of improvement. So really, those two proposals go hand in hand. We hope that the increase in fine prevents people from littering to begin with. We hope that the language allows us to better target littering in the community, but we also said if we increase the fine and if we are more specific in our language, then we also need to give more people the more opportunities to do the right thing. And by doing the right thing, we mean throw your trash in a trash receptacle. So we're proposing to double the amount of trash cans in our downtown area, along our river walks, and in every park in the city. So right now, if there's a park that has 2 trash cans, next spring, if this passes, it'll have 4. That way people can't say the trash can was too far away, or the one that was there was overflowing and we didn't have any room to put the trash. So there will be no excuse, and that's kind of our way to extend the olive branch and say, hey, let's do the right thing. The styrofoam ban, again, really goes hand in hand with the other 2 items. We know styrofoam doesn't break down. It's not biodegradable. We know it contains carcinogens. We know it's not good for the environment. We know it's harmful to your health when it's around your food. I think that we have even more responsibility, even more of an obligation, being a waterfront community with the lakeshore, with the riverfront here, to be aware in conscious of what we're doing to our environment, right? We have water that's a great asset, and we're finally capitalizing on it, but we also need to acknowledge what that means and the responsibility that comes with that. So on any given day, you can go to the marina or to any boat launch or walk along Harbor Trail and see styrofoam products, whether they're coffee cups or bait containers. So we think the elimination of styrofoam is a positive step forward, and I think it's a reasonable proposal when there are so many affordable alternatives to styrofoam for our businesses to adjust. We know there's cardboard, there's plastic, there's several other reasonable and affordable alternatives out there. Quite frankly, we see restaurants moving away from styrofoam products already. We hope that this proposal will just expedite that move so that they move away even in a faster than they already are. I think the general public is aware of how harmful styrofoam can be. Typically, they interact with styrofoam when it's given to them in a to-go situation at a restaurant or through a drive-through. So, again, I think it's just a reasonable step that we can take. A couple of exemptions from the styrofoam ban include not-for-profit organizations. If you're a restaurant and you're hosting, let's say, a chicken barbecue, and the chicken barbecue goes in a styrofoam container and the proceeds go to a not-for-profit organization, that is exempt. Construction materials are exempt, so any construction material where there's a styrofoam component to it is exempt. And of course, anything that shows up to a business prepackaged is exempt too if they go to resell it. So because they accepted that styrofoam, there's no way they can actually control that. so that is an exemption as well. One final point, touching on the existing stock that a restaurant might have. If this passes on October 28th, following the public hearing and the vote, it will not take effect until April 22nd, which ironically enough is Earth Day in 2020, so it'll take effect April 22nd, 2020. That gives restaurants and businesses approximately 6 months to build up any existing stock or to burn up any incoming orders that they have, so they aren't just trying to throwing things away or having to try to sell it back to whoever their supplier is. So they'll have a 6-month grace period to burn up what they have. The last part of this proposal is to support the plastic bag ban that was passed at the state level. We will purchase 5,000 tote bags, reusable tote bags, so when that plastic bag ban takes effect next year, we can give out through the Promotion and Tourism Advisory tent or downstairs in the lobby of City Hall these reusable plastic bag bans. Like I said last week, I think everybody here probably watches the news, is in tune with what's going on at the state level, so they're aware of the plastic bag ban that's coming our way. You'd be surprised at how many people aren't aware. I think this is one way to soften the shock that some folks may have by having these bags available for folks when they come into City Hall to pick up or to be distributed at events like we do koozies, hats, T-shirts, and everything else. I don't know if we distribute T-shirts, but maybe someday. So that's it. I will say there's one final point. Well, two final points. Enforcement, I've had the question of enforcement come up. Our code enforcement department handles fire inspections for commercial businesses as it is already, so it would be easy enough for them to handle the enforcement of Styrofoam. They're in these facilities anyway, so it's not really any more extra work than they already have. They won't have to make additional visits to businesses than they already do. It can be part of that annual fire inspection. I think I forgot what my last point was, but I remember. I just want to say I was extremely impressed with the reception so far from business owners after reading some comments from the business owners and watching and listening to some comments without much warning from me at the incoming interviews. We had businesses actually embrace the Styrofoam ban, and a lot of times when these issues comes up, you can hear the rhetoric that they're job killers or businesses will close, and you know it's always worst case scenario. But I was extremely proud of my community and the businesses in our community when they came forward and either outright supported the ban or seemed rather indifferent to it, saying, look, we realize we'll have to make some adjustments, but we understand why, and we think it's the right thing to do. So I was extremely proud and relieved, quite frankly, to hear those comments. So with that, any comments from the council? See, Councilor Cordino.
Yeah, I just want to mention that I've been walking the ward the last couple of weeks, and since you've announced this proposal, I've had nothing but 100% support for this from the residents of the 7th Ward that I've spoken to. They think it's the right issue, the right time to do this, and I'm certainly going to support this when it comes up for a vote. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments? Will clerk please call the roll?
Councilor Tesorio.
Yes.
Councilor Cordino.
Yes.
Councilor McBrady.
Yes.
Councilor DeMassey.
Yes.
Councilor Hill.
Yes.
Councilor Wilmot. Yes. Councilor Gosick.
Yes.
Resolution passes 7-0.
Clerk, please call Resolution 389.
Accept donation of 1 laser methane mini gas meter to the fire department from the New York State Public Service Commission.
Councilor DeMassey, Councilor Gosick. Any comments? Will clerk please call the roll?
Councilor Tesorio.
Yes.
Councilor Cordino.
Yes.
Councilor McBrady.
Yes.
Councilor DeMassey.
Yes.
Councilor Hill.
Yes.
Councilor Wilmot. Yes. Councilor Gosick.
Yes.
Resolution passes 7-0.
Clerk, please call Resolution 390.
Approve City of Oswego 5-year public housing agency plan for 2020 through 2024.
Councilor Cordino, Councilor Gosick. Any comments? Clerk, please call the roll.
Counselor Tesorio.
Yes.
Counselor Cordino.
Yes.
Counselor McBrearty.
Yes.
Counselor DeMassey.
Yes.
Counselor Hill.
Yes.
Counselor Wilmot. Counselor Gosick.
Yes.
Resolution passes 7-0.
Clerk, please call Resolution 391.
Authorize mayor to enter into an agreement with the Oswego County Veterans Agency to provide service dogs to eligible military veterans and further approve funding for same.
Counselor Hill, Counselor Wilmot. This is the agreement we talked about last week. It's a $10,000 one-year agreement that we have with the Oswego County Veterans Agency. Other counties in the state have service dog programs where they can offer military veterans suffering from things like PTSD and other service-related issues. Service dogs for comfort and care. They relieve anxiety, provide comfort. So we're one of the counties that we do not have this program. There's certainly a need in the county, being one of the having a dense population here in the county. We know that there's a need here locally, so we want to partner with the Veterans Agency. We will fund the program for 1 year. The Veterans Agency will administer the program, locate the individuals who would like a service dog. If they meet the criteria, then the Veterans Agency will make that connection and provide them with a trained animal. Each animal is about $2,500, so we see this $10,000 being an initial a pilot program, if you will, funding up to 4 animals. And I've told county leaders that if we go through this $10,000, we place these 4 dogs rather quickly within the year, we can talk about a long-term partnership and establishing a permanent program, not only in the city of Oswego, but countywide. Any comments from the council? Seeing none, will clerk please call the roll?
Counselor Tesorio.
Yes.
Counselor Cordino.
Yes.
Counselor McBrearty.
Yes.
Counselor DeMassey.
Yes.
Counselor Hill.
Yes.
Counselor Wilmot. Yes. Counselor Gosick.
Yes.
Resolution passes 7-0.
Clerk, please call Resolution 392.
Accept bid submitted by W.D. Malone Trucking and Excavating Incorporated for the construction of the West Seneca Street Bikeway project.
Councilor McBrearty, Councilor Hill. Any comments? Clerk, Councilor Tesorio.
Yeah. After reading this many times, I understand that the amount of bid and the grant that we, that we are going to be reimbursed. So basically, that leaves us, a set total that we're going to pay. It seems a little exuberant to me to this day after reading it several times. I don't know. After going through projects in my ward and other wards around town, boy, that's a lot of money. I guess that's all I'm going to say. I'm sorry.
Any other comments? Seeing none, will clerk please call the roll?
Counselor Tesorio.
No.
Counselor Cordino.
Yes.
Counselor McBrearty.
Yes.
Counselor DeMassey.
Yes.
Counselor Hill.
Yes.
Counselor Wilmot. Yes. Counselor Gosick.
No.
Resolution passes 5-2.
Will clerk please call Resolution 393?
Approve transfer of funds from within the Department of Public Works.
Councilor Gozick, Councilor Cordino. Any comments? Will clerk please call the roll?
Counselor Tesorio.
Yes.
Counselor Cordino.
Yes.
Counselor McBrearty.
Yes.
Counselor DeMassey.
Yes.
Counselor Hill.
Yes.
Counselor Wilmot. Yes. Counselor Gosick.
Yes.
Resolution passes 7-0.
Clerk please call Resolution 394?
Approve transfer of funds within the Fire Department.
Councilor Gozick, Councilor Tesorio. Any comments? Clerk please call the roll?
Counselor Tesorio.
Yes.
Counselor Cordino.
Yes.
Counselor McBrearty.
Yes.
Counselor DeMassey.
Yes.
Counselor Hill.
Yes.
Counselor Wilmot. Yes. Counselor Gosick.
Yes.
Resolution passes 7-0.
Clerk please call Resolution 395?
Approve transfer of funds within the Wastewater Department.
Councilor Hill, Councilor McBrearty. Any comments? Clerk, please call the roll.
Counselor Tesorio.
Yes.
Counselor Cordino.
Yes.
Counselor McBrearty.
Yes.
Counselor DeMassey.
Yes.
Counselor Hill.
Yes.
Counselor Wilmot.
Yes.
Counselor Gosick.
Yes.
Resolution passes 7-0.
Clerk, please call Resolution 396.
Approve transfer of funds to the Animal Control Overtime Account to cover overtime costs for the remainder of 2019.
Counselor DeMassey, Counselor Cordino. Any comments? Clerk, please call the roll.
Counselor Tesorio.
Yes.
Counselor Cordino.
Yes.
Counselor McBrearty.
Yes.
Counselor DeMassey.
Yes.
Counselor Hill.
Yes.
Counselor Wilmot. Counselor Gosick.
Yes.
Resolution passes 7-0.
Clerk, please call Resolution 397.
Authorize City Chamberlain to complete a budget amendment for the Fire Department equipment account for the purchase of a new ambulance.
Counselor Gozick, Counselor Hill. This is to replace the primary ambulance we had. You remember the Mercedes vehicle they bought a few years back. We have scrapped that vehicle. We have the Mentor lease in the meantime. We are purchasing this to replace the Mercedes vehicle. We are purchasing it now through a budget amendment to 2019 so that we can order it and have it delivered soon rather than waiting for the 2020 budget to take effect in January and then ordering, purchasing is months out. And then the lease will expire by then. Any comments from the council? Seeing none, will clerk please call the roll?
Counselor Tesorio.
Yes.
Counselor Cordino.
Yes.
Counselor McBrearty.
Yes.
Counselor DeMassey.
Yes.
Counselor Hill.
Yes.
Counselor Wilmot. Counselor Gosick.
Yes.
Resolution passes 7-0.
Clerk please call Resolution 398.
Authorize City Chamberlain to complete a budget amendment to the police overtime account to cover costs related to the Oswego Police Department's Quality of Life Patrol for the remainder of 2019.
Counselor Hill, Counselor McBrearty. This is the $90,000 proposal to put more boots on the ground, if you will, for the Oswego Police Department. We've seen a recent uptick in late-night disturbances and disorderly behavior. Because of neighbor complaints and complaints from neighbors, and what we find is a lot of these properties, it's the same property, same area of town, same neighborhoods over and over and over again. We think it'll be advantageous to actually put another officer out in the streets for Thursday nights, Friday nights, Saturday nights to conduct these, what we're calling quality of life patrols, to focus in on this sort of behavior. I just want to take a moment to clarify this is in no way directed directly towards the college community or student community that will be part of the Quality of Life Patrol, but the $90,000 funds approximately $20,000 through the rest of this year and just about most weekends after March of next year. So we'll be conducting these throughout the year, even when college isn't in session, to further prove it's not just a college issue. We'll be on both the west side and the east side of the city because there, believe it or not, are issues on both sides of the city. So we think that this additional pair of boots on the ground will help stop some of these issues that are consistently happening week after week after week and relieve the neighbors of some of the issues that they're experiencing on a regular basis. Any comments from the council? Seeing none, clerk please call the roll.
Counselor Tesorio.
Yes.
Counselor Cordino.
Yes.
Counselor McBrearty.
Yes.
Counselor DeMassey.
Yes.
Counselor Hill.
Yes.
Counselor Wilmot. Yes. Counselor Gosick.
Yes.
Resolution passes 7-0.
Clerk please call Resolution 399.
Waive rules of the Common Council to present resolution number 400 from the floor without committee consideration.
Counselor McBrearty, Counselor Hill. Any comments? Will clerk please call the roll?
Counselor Tesorio.
Yes.
Counselor Cordino.
Yes.
Counselor McBrearty.
Yes.
Counselor DeMassey.
Yes.
Counselor Hill.
Yes.
Counselor Wilmot. Yes. Counselor Gosick.
Yes.
Resolution passes 7-0.
Clerk please call Resolution 400.
Approve advertisement for sealed bids for the purchase of 154 East Seneca Street.
Counselor DeMassey, Counselor Tesorario. Any comments? Clerk please call the roll.
Counselor Tesorario.
Yes.
Counselor Cordino.
Yes.
Counselor McBrearty.
Yes.
Counselor DeMassey.
Yes.
Counselor Hill.
Yes.
Counselor Wilmot. Yes. Counselor Gosick.
Yes.
Resolution passes 7-0.
Any unfinished business to come before the council? Seeing none, I'll take a motion to adjourn. Counselor Tesorario, Counselor DeMassey. Will clerk please call the roll?
Counselor Tesorario.
Yes.
Counselor Cordino.
Yes.
Counselor McBrearty.
Yes.
Counselor DeMassey.
Yes.
Counselor Hill.
Yes.
Counselor Wilmot. Yes. Counselor Gosick.
Yes.
Resolution passes 7-0.
Meeting is adjourned.